Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com, and I am live in the KHNC studios. Yes, I'm up on the Front Range. Jason is going to be off this week, so I am filling in. I am the man in charge of not only Patriot Trading Group, but 1360 KHNC as well, doing double duty this week. I got Jack, the producer, in the control room. It's weird because in Phoenix, you know, I do the shows right from my office. So I've got a studio there. Jack's up here. Ramon, he runs the boards in Phoenix. I don't actually see anybody. I'm just kind of in my room by myself, you know. And so now I'm staring through the glass, and there's Jack, and Jack's a strapping young man, and he's got you know, the longer hair, you know, the kind of, you know, just how you'd picture a typical late teen. You know, I think Jack's what he 19, something like that, 18, 19, 20, you know, right around that age. You know, he's got this almost mullet look going. You know, I would liken it, Jack, to very much not 80s rock, because 80s rock had the big hair. Jack's more like 70s burnout rock.
Maybe I think I'm cutting it soon, so
okay. Don't
worry, Joe.
Okay,
don't worry.
After this comment, your next thing is to go right to the barber shop. Apparently, he wasn't going for 70s burnout rocker look, but Jack does. He does a great job for us up here. Ramon, he does an incredible job for us in Phoenix as well. To all of you out there, all you podcasters, you YouTubes, subscribe to all our stuff. And again, because it's the one place you don't hear this anywhere else. Nobody gives it to you the way we do here at Patriot. And what a day, you know, Friday when the Dow was down 1,000 points. Today it's down another 250 on top of this. And no surprise here as the, you know, I'll call it the little, what did we have? About an 8-week reprieve from real world that somehow the Federal Reserve could just talk away inflation. Not going to happen. Rates are continuing to head higher. The big news today really out of Europe, because the dollar hit a 20-year high today, but then Europe came out and said, okay, we got energy problems like you would not believe. Think about this. People in line for days at coal mining facilities to try to buy coal. Think about this. I don't know, what do they got, like a stand? You know, back in the day when I was a kid in upstate New York, the local farmer, he had a sweet corn stand over the summer. And that was like our summer job. There's me and my buddies. You know, I was a kid. I sat at the sweet corn stand, you know, and at the time, think about this. It was 12 ears of corn for $1. 12 ears for $1. And we had tomatoes and a few other things. But the thing was, you always gave them an extra ear, right? That was like the farmer's thing, right? You give them an extra. I'm like, well, why don't we just change the sign to 13 for $1? You know, but no, that was, you know, but it was marketing. Genius. Hey, grab it. You know what? Here, let me give you another ear. Right? Then, of course, I'd be checking people out. Here comes the farmer. He'd stuff like 3 or 4 ears extra in there, and I was just, you know, I don't know, but where I was going with all of that is, I guess, the coal mining. Think about this. You got these guys going in the ground. You know, I was just in West Virginia. I got to tell you right now, coal everywhere in West Virginia right now. Do they have like a stand for these people that they literally are in their cars for days to buy coal straight from the coal mine? And I'm just wondering, like, is there a coal miner, like, out front, like, with a, you know, there's a sign, you know, and I don't even, you know, how much coal do you need? I don't even know. Is it 10 pounds of coal for $10? I don't know. And I'm just wondering, How are they doing all of this stuff? But the big news today is energy prices just shattered every record possible. The ECB now is saying we're going to do everything to bring down these prices. And I guess the one thing you're going to do is raise rates so high that the whole world economy, and this is what it's going to take. I'm just telling you right now, and I've been saying this from day one. Most people can't get it through their head because, listen, I guess if you want to be optimistic, I want to be optimistic. I do. But here's the realities. I know how to do math. And I'm not even talking about complicated math. My youngest son going back for his sophomore year at University of San Diego, he's going to be a statistical analytic, engineer of some kind. You got to do all kinds of crazy crap for that stuff. You don't need to be that smart. I'm talking about I know how to do like fourth grade math. That's the IQ. That's all you need to be. Think about, we got to be more educated. No, we don't. Just got to do, I do fourth grade math. I can do addition and subtraction, multiplication, division. You have no idea the amount of demand destruction that actually is needed in order to get the energy prices to be where they need them to be. And again, this was all done on purpose because they decided that we didn't need energy. Even Elon Musk came out today. Not that I'm a big Elon Musk fan, but a lot of people are. Dude, we're going to need oil and natural gas for a long, 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 long time. And anybody that wants to think that that's not possible isn't dealing in reality. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Gold's up. Oil's up. The Dow is down. And again, this is something where everybody now is starting to realize that we've got bigger problems than they wanted to admit to. And I get it. I do. I get it. But the realities are very, very simple. Not only is there not enough, there's not enough now. There's not going to be enough next week, next month, next year, 2 years, 3 years. This is a long-term fundamental change. And again, I remember I was saying it last week. All these billionaires betting Jackson Hole. Right? And we're going to figure this stuff out. No, they're the ones that put us here. They're the ones that decided, you know what? We want to call this thing climate change. We don't want to be good stewards. We did a show on the Half Empty Cup, talking about it's not that we need more trees. What we need to do is manage the ones that we have, right? And people don't understand. I don't even understand it. I'm not a treeologist. I don't think that's actually a word. But hey, it's my show. I can make up words if I want to, right? That if they were healthier, less trees, it would actually be better in certain areas because the trees would be healthier. They would be better producers of oxygen. They would absorb more carbon dioxide. There's so many things to this. But these are just lobby groups pushing agenda and wind and solar. Hey, listen, electric cars. I love it all. That all sounds great. It's not possible. See, and this was the lie. See, what they didn't tell you is, oh, by the way, we've decided that this is what we want to do. And so, therefore, you're going to be the ones that pay the price. And right now, when you sit here, there's no reason anybody anywhere needs to pay $4 for gasoline. There isn't. It's a self-created problem. Natural gas. Up again today, right? In Europe, it's a fortune, right? They wait for days at coal mines. I still want to see, is there like a stand? I don't know. Is there like a coal miner there? Is he all black, covered in coal and stuff? But again, all by design. These are fake shortages. And how did they create fake shortages? Well, they just didn't invest in them anymore. It's just that simple. Right? BlackRock said we're not doing ESG scores. Listen, just so you know, it's getting worse before it gets better, because guess what happens in December? You guessed it, all public, well, they go in two waves. So they start with the big ones. All the big stock companies, publicly traded companies, starting in December, so let's just call it next year, 2023, have to report their ESG scores. Yes. Think about this. Well, if your ESG score isn't good enough, you got to buy carbon credits. What do you think that does for all of us? Right? Why do you think it is that way? You think it's it's Russia, Ukraine is why gas prices are so It's a part of it. It doesn't help. But here's the reality. Without Ukraine, listen, all Russia, Ukraine did is allowed us to release 1 billion barrels out of the strategic oil reserve every day. Right? Just think, if there wasn't a war right now with Russia and Ukraine, we probably wouldn't have an excuse to release those strategic oil reserves. And guess what? We'd still be paying $4. But this is what they wanted. This is what it's going to be. And the realities are very simple. If you want to go into a world where we're not using, call it fossil fuels. We don't want to use coal, natural gas, oil. We don't want to use nuclear, right? We just want to use wind and solar. Well, let me give you a little idea of what it's going to cost us. Cooling and heating your homes. I don't know, let's probably entry level, $1,000 a month, something like that, right? Solar panels, right? That doesn't include the fact you got to buy the solar panels. Right? I mean, that's what we'd be talking about. Think about it if you're a small business owner and you got a lot of equipment that you use, a lot of power, use a lot of energy. Well, can you stay in business if your power bill goes up 300%, 400%, 500%? Because that's what we're talking about. I mean, California, no gas cars in 2035. Okay, well, let's see. California already has power problems. I know what the solution. I just figured it out. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I'm a genius. We've got power problems. I've got a great idea. Let's make sure everyone's got to plug their cars in now, because that'll make the power problem better. Of course. Look how smart I am. I mean, what kind of idiot comes up with that? But this is what I'm talking about. If you want to believe in nonsense, then I guess you're part of the Green New Deal. You remember that inflation fighting deal that they just signed? People have no idea what it's really going to cost us. Because, again, that's just more money that should have been invested in drilling for oil. How about a natural gas pipeline? Right? How about getting the I forget the name of the pipeline, the oil pipeline that Obama scrapped. Right? That's where the money should have went. Right? If they actually wanted to fight inflation, that's where it should have went. That was easy money. Right? That was government money. They didn't even have to get a banker to do it. They could just throw it out to everybody. Oh, no. No. Here's what we want to do. We want to be able to give tax breaks and incentives to our billionaire buddies. How many of you out there, show of hands, because it's radio, so I can see all your hands, okay? Show of hands. How many of you out there own a bunch of office buildings that have really old windows and doors on them? Right? I throw them up there. I know all you listeners, you probably got 5 or 6 of them. Right? You probably got 3 or 4 office towers. Right? Yeah, guess what? We're going to give those guys tax break, right? Hey, you're going to be able to get all new windows and doors, and we're going to call it, hey, we're for the people. Don't be fooled. This is absolute nonsense. This isn't about saving the planet. This is about saving money for special interests. And this is why I keep saying we need to end the Fed. We need to get back to small government. Because the graph, it's ridiculous. It really, truly is. And, of course, somehow they come out on TV and, it's really meant, and really, let's face it. How many of the houses out there, And I'm talking, these are houses, they're going to be older houses, right? Older houses that need new windows, need new doors. How many of those are rental properties, right? Right? You know the ones I'm talking about. These are most likely rental properties. The people that are in them don't even own these homes. The whole thing was just a bunch of garbage that again, pushes interest groups and is going to make sure. This is why when I sit there and said, listen, inflation's with us for a long time. You really, truly don't understand. You don't understand how important oil and natural gas, coal and nuclear truly is. You don't have a true grasp of how the world really works. You're insane. You know what people talk about all the time? About the depopulation of the earth. This is the best way to. You know what? I think this is the best way to do it. Hey, let's just stop investing in oil and natural gas and see what happens. You know, I live in Phoenix. I live in a desert. I know. Listen, I know people 100 years ago, and a little farther back than that. They were tougher than me. I'm not tough. I am not tough. They could live in Arizona without any air conditioning, right? Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Think about all the people out in Sun City, all the people out there in Yuma, Arizona, right? All your old snowbirds out there. How you think you're going to do when you can't turn the AC on? I can tell you how you're going to do, right? And think about all over the globe, everywhere they're talking about, even in places like Europe. I'm talking about Germany and France. Hey, you can only turn the heat on to 62 degrees. What? 62 degrees? That's freezing. I don't even turn and I love AC. Okay, I love AC. My AC never goes to 62 degrees. You'd be freezing to death at the office at work, like when I get all worked up. Right, the girls, because I'm a little bigger guy, I get sweaty. And when I do radio with more than just I got my hands going, right? I got it all going. Right? I turn that thing down. I turn it down to about 75. It feels nice and cool at 75. Like if it's been a really bad day, maybe 74. Okay? Not 62. 62, my teeth would be chattering. Now think about that's as high as it could be when it's 0 degrees outside. Yeah, that's not going to be a good thing. And again, all by design. But don't worry, they're going to do something about it because the ECB, like I said this morning, I'm going to pull it up here because they made this big deal about energy prices because they're saying that people aren't going to be able to even pay to get the heat to 62 degrees. So they're out there saying that they're going to come out and do, I don't know. Is the government going to pay for it? I mean, what are they going to do? It's not like, I guess they could maybe end the war with Ukraine. Maybe then the Russians would send them some more natural gas. I mean, outside of that, I really don't understand what it is, but they're calling it an emergency intervention. Yeah, see, here's the problem. See, we're all addicted to electricity. That's it. Why didn't I think of this? See, it's not the drugs, it's not the meth, it's not the crack. No, you like electricity. That's the problem. Right, and of course, we'll give Thomas Edison and Ben Franklin, with the kite and Thomas Edison and the light bulb. I'm not even going to go into the story about Edison. Everybody really knows that he didn't do it, but neither here nor there. Okay, that's the problem. That's it. So we got emergency measures. Germany says that forward base loads of electricity. So they're talking about, hey, 6 months from now, we're going to pay for electricity, is up 1,000%. and that the average bill in Germany will be well over 1,000 euros. Think about this. So if your power bill was 100, they're now saying it's going to be 1,000. That is that just in 1 year's time. And now they're saying that they are going to be taking emergency efforts. They say that they're worried about armed revolts this winter. You can't make this stuff up. This is how bad it's gotten that people are going to have to, I don't even know, do they allow guns in Europe? I don't know, but apparently they're worried about an armed revolt or worse. Millions of people will face freezing to death without being able to afford power or heat. They're saying the planned emergency steps to push down soaring prices of power. Now, they don't say what the steps are. Maybe if they have a time machine, that's it. They can go back to 5 years ago and stop these idiotic policies from starting to begin with. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Just a couple of points of interest. Report is out that we are evacuating the embassy in Baghdad. A breach of the green zone. Remember that? Remember the green zone? Don't know. I don't have any other details about that. That just happened. But yesterday it broke that Libya may be on the verge of civil war again. And so, two of these countries that, let's face it, we've destabilized. Saddam Hussein, he was a bad guy. Muammar Gaddafi, he was a bad guy. Well, that's maybe true. But those bad guys were able to keep the peace. But major escalation, at least 23 people killed, 87 people injured in Tripoli as rival political groups erupted into street combat in Libya. This is going to be big. So if Libya goes offline again, Libya, they're allowed or supposed to produce about 1 million barrels of oil a day into the market. If they shut down again, this is going to be another escalation of energy prices. I have no idea. Hopefully the news in Iraq is more of a news headline, and it's not as bad as the headline, but the headline was they were evacuating the embassy there and that the green zone had been breached, but I don't have any deals. So let's hope. I'm going to discount that one for right now because no way we could have Iraq and Libya go offline at the same time. That'd be worse than any hurricane or anything like that. But just to keep you in the know as the crude oil prices again continuing to climb higher. We had this reprieve for about 6 to 8 weeks, and all that was paper oil. Paper oil. And what I mean by that is there was no big increases in inventory. There was no major, increase in supply. I mean, OPEC increased supply, but OPEC, they had let it known. They had a timetable that they had released over a year ago. So we knew all of those things. Of course, now we know OPEC has already said, that's it. We don't have any more. There's no more oil to give. So let's hope these things de-escalate themselves because it looks like things could get a whole lot worse before things get better. Did you see in San Francisco now? This is how ridiculous we've gotten and idiotic we've gotten. And again, not just with our energy prices, not with food, right? Which, believe me, we've been completely idiotic on both of those fronts. But let's start in San Francisco. Shop owners now are threatening to stop paying taxes unless the city starts cleaning up the crime and the homelessness. And all I'm going to say to you shop owners, I feel bad for you, but where were you guys when all of these people were being elected, right? I mean, where were you guys? What did you think was going to happen? Hey, I got a great idea. Let's release people that commit crimes. Let's take shoplifting and say, hey, if you shoplift less than $1,000, and I'm wondering, do you think, do they check themselves out when they're shoplifting? How do you know you got there? Right? Maybe the homeless, you know what? I got to believe a lot of these homeless guys, Jack, I bet you they can do fourth grade math. I bet you they do. So they're probably, as they're stealing stuff. Right? Well, I just took 10 of those, and that's $10 a piece. There's $100. Oh, wait, here's another $100. I mean, you think they're counting in their heads? I got the 900. That's all I'm going to steal today? No? Yes? Look at Jack's like, I don't know. I got nothing. He doesn't know.
I don't think so, Joe.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think that, someone's counting it as they're going out the door?
I wouldn't be. I can tell you that.
And here's the, so now they don't want to pay their taxes, which I think that's a great idea. You want to get government's attention, just stop paying. Well, I guess, you know what? If student loan borrowers don't have to pay their loans, then why should business owners pay their taxes? Matter of fact, why should any of us pay anything? Let's just have the government give it all to us for free. Why not? I mean, it sounds like a wonderful idea, right? We've already got all the IRS agents we're going to need out there. So I say, why not? And then how about this out of California again? Of course, California. And why is California? I mean, for whatever reason, how California goes, it seems like this is where the country is headed. Northern California district attorneys, they finally have data on all of the criminals who they've released on what they call zero bond, right? Remember this brilliance? Hey, I've got an idea. Hey, how about when somebody commits a crime that we just release them with a zero bond? So what's their punishment going to be? Well, nothing. Matter of fact, not only do they not have anything bad happen, if we have them there, they may have to be in jail for a day. We'll probably feed them a couple of times, but then we're just going to release them. Well, according to the latest data, over 70% of the people released under the mandated zero bond policy, guess what, guys? They go right back to committing crimes, and you guessed it, it even gets more violent. Crimes like robbery, murder. I mean, again, this is our policy. This is it. And people are voting for this. Right? Denver's not far behind. Boulder's not far behind. What do you think is going to happen? We have allowed for the inmates to run the asylum. I mean, it's absolutely incredible when you think about, hey, man, I didn't think this would happen, but almost everybody that commits a crime that we release with no bond whatsoever, hey, you know what? I know you didn't mean it. Oh, I got you. You assaulted that guy, or you assaulted that young lady. You didn't mean it. You're sorry. I'm sure you're sorry. Yeah, we'll let you go on your honor. Oh, shocking. Guess what? They go out and commit more crimes. Now, guess what? Now the businesses don't want to pay their taxes. Welcome to the United States. And not even Ozzy Osbourne wants to live here anymore. Ozzy, take me with you. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Gold is up today. Not a lot, but a few bucks here. $17.42. U.S. $20 gold at $2,095. We had a nice pullback on Friday, because Jay Powell talked tough. Yeah, okay, whatever. Believe me, Jay Powell's not tough. Jay Powell is Arthur Burns plus tax. I've said it forever. This guy is the weakest Fed governor we have had since Arthur Burns. Of course, Burns was the Fed chief during the 70s. And then, of course, we got Joe Biden. Right? I mean, how far from Jimmy Carter is this guy? Right? It's the same scenario. It's almost, you can't write a movie like this. They were put there on purpose. They had to have been. I mean, the coincidences are absolutely, it's crazy. An oil shock, right? Now we've got the energy shock, right? I mean, it's absolutely, crazy. We had the Vietnam War. Now we got the Russia-Ukraine war. The list just goes on and on and on. And again, I think, gold is going to, just like the 70s, if you actually go back and look, it's not a rocket ship for gold. It starts and stops, starts and stops, starts and stops, and then, bam, right? All of a sudden you turned around, what happened? Right? Gold's up $200-$400 in a matter of days. I think this is what we're going to be in for. And remember, September starts the quantitative tightening really in force. And you got to also remember, a lot of the other banks are doing this. The other central banks are doing this. We are setting ourselves up for a liquidity crisis. You're seeing it in Wall Street. Wall Street down 1,000 points on Friday because there's no buyers. The same thing. You got to remember, this is a debt market. Let's not forget. Really, very Ponzi-esque type market. And what I mean by that is they tell you, oh, no, we got all these bonds, they're all good. Don't worry about this debt. It's all securitized. See, we even threw the word security in there. What do you think that means? We said it's securitized. Right? It's got to be secure. Now, they don't actually trade. I mean, well, they trade once in a while, but almost never do they trade. But don't worry, they're worth what they say they are. They're worth it. Think about housing prices. How about all those housing bonds that got securitized with 2020 and 2021 prices? And I'm not saying that there's going to, I'm not saying that we're going to have a housing crash like the last time. And I'm going to say this too. I'm also not saying that we're not. But I will tell you this, home prices are coming down. Period. Because nobody can afford the damn payments. Especially if the tough-talking Jay Powell, right, and rates continue to head higher. And this is the problem, they're going a lot higher than what people think. What do you think is going to happen? Now the Fed wants to sell all their mortgage-backed securities. They want to sell these treasuries. At the same time, look at the Biden administration. Listen, we're issuing new debt, right, with our Inflation Reduction Act, right? Again, we talk about idiotic policy. Tell me which Harvard professor teaches that more government spending, creating money out of nothing, reduces inflation. I missed that class. Now, granted, I wasn't a very good student, but yeah, I wasn't there. Didn't see it. Never ever, but you know what? Again, why not? Why not? We got all the other idiotic policies. What's one more? It'll be fine. Don't worry, we're going to forgive debt. Listen, the one thing they're not going to forgive, they're not going to forget the debt of the banks that go under. And this is really the problem. Matter of fact, they really did a number on us with the Dodd-Frank Act. Because not only did they really stick it to us, most of the legislation that made things hard on banks, they've already gotten rid of. Oh, that was too tough. You're right. That's crazy. You guys wouldn't be able to buy your stock back and give yourself big bonuses. Can't have that. And just know J.P. Morgan by themselves, just one bank, $60 trillion of derivatives. $60 trillion. That's like 3 years of every piece of GDP of the United States. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, even our national debt's only at 40. I mean, I'm not even going to say 31. It's at 40 trillion. They got 60 trillion in derivatives. Why is that so important? Because I'll tell you why. What if, let's go just crazy, and I don't know, we just say, you know what, J.P. Morgan, hey, that 60 trillion, it's only worth 95 cents. Now, that doesn't sound that bad, does it? Oh, 95 cents? 95 cents on the dollar? That's not that bad. Because, you know, when things become worthless, what do you get, like 20 cents on the dollar, right? I'm not talking anything crazy like that. Well, that would just be a write-down of $3 trillion. Or about the equivalent of all the deposits that J.P. Morgan has. Isn't that interesting? Don't worry, though. Your money's completely safe. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint here. Solo this week. Jason will be back next week. U.S. $20 Liberties at 2,095. As the Dow continues to be under pressure and you know, well, let's face it, a rally that probably shouldn't have existed, but nothing goes up or down in straight lines. But just remember, they didn't fix the problem. We could have fixed it in 08, and we could have done the right thing. And we could have had most of these banks go under and not bailed them out and reorganized and got rid, you know, too big to fail, kind of, you know, right in the title. This, again, nonsensical policies. Well, these banks are just way too big because if one of them has a problem, they all got a problem. Well, let's see. What changed? How did this happen? Oh, wait, we changed the laws in the late 90s? Well, I guess it was more like mid-90s, that allowed for these banks to get that big? Oh, well, I don't know. I'm just going to put my hand up again. Now, granted, I only know how to do fourth grade math, but I got an idea. How about we go back and make them all smaller again? Wouldn't that make sense? Oh, no. What are you, stupid? No, we've got to inflate the bubble, right? Because otherwise people will know that the dollar really doesn't have the value that we says it is. And this is how we're here. And just use that example from J.P. Morgan. We don't need a total collapse. That's why, think about housing prices. I want to say the number was only like 4 or 5% of people lost their homes. And look at what that did. And now we have the amount of debt we have today versus then. Think about it. Back then it was like 10 trillion. Really, honestly, it was like 10. Now we're at 40. How much worse is it going to be this time? And of course, this time they're ready because they're going to make sure the depositors are the ones that pay. And I say it to you all the time, and I hope you take it to heart. And I know you're scared and you're hoping it doesn't happen. Do you really think that's where we're at? If you really think it's safe in there, then leave it there. Go ahead. Leave it there if you do. But if you're sitting there really looking at things and going, man, you know what? The guy that only knows how to do fourth grade math sure makes a lot of sense. You may want to have some gold and silver put away. $20 gold pieces, $2,095 today at 800-951-0592. And again, the Dow has been down all day today. The 10-year note now 3.11. I mean, I think in a couple of weeks the Fed funds rate's going to be 3%. So it's got a lot higher to go. Crude oil, gaining speed up over $3 now, 96 in change. Brent, by the way, Brent oil, that's the European Asian oil. It's at $104. Natural gas higher as well. Like I said, gold is up today. Silver down, but only down about 5-6 cents right now at $18.75. 800-951-0592.